The USA is too powerful to be destroyed from the outside. Actually, geographically, nobody can invade the U.S., the United States. Nobody. I mean, even if huge armies will collude and want to attack the U.S., it's impossible. I mean, you have to cross all the. The USA is too powerful to be destroyed from the outside. Actually, geographically, nobody can invade the U.S., the United States. Nobody. I mean, even if huge armies will collude and want to attack the U.S., it's impossible. I mean, you have to cross all the ocean, all the Pacific Ocean and all the Atlantic Ocean just to get to the shore. I mean, it's impossible, right? And the U.S. has military bases, so it's impossible. So the only way the U.S. can fail, and this is not my my analysis. This was made by presidents before, by U.S. presidents before. The demise of the U.S. has to come from within. Right? The enemies have to be inside, not really outside. No external enemy can cause so much damage as internal. It's an internal operation. When you're watching internal operations here, you can see them in cities that were pristinely beautiful 30 years ago are wastelands right now. You would see people, I mean, I'm from El Salvador, a third world country in Central America, and myself, I can see cities here and say, I wouldn't live here. So that would be unthinkable 3 decades ago. Totally unthinkable. That a Salvadoran wouldn't want to live in a U.S. city, in a U.S. main city. I mean, Los Angeles, San
New York,
Francisco,
Chicago, yeah.
Well, Philadelphia, Baltimore. When you look how the cities are eroding so fast, this has to be by design. I mean, who would make so many stupid decisions? Like, okay, we're gonna give you money for drugs. Really, they're doing that. In some cities, they're giving people drugs. I mean, they're literally giving people drugs in some U.S. cities. Or they say, okay, we're gonna give you money if you don't work. Or they make all of these laws that make no sense. Or if they have a high crime, okay, I have a solution. Let's defund the police, right? They make this analysis here. And you see all these campaigns, defund the police. You will see these campaigns of, let's allow shoplifting up to this amount. They make these decisions openly. I mean, it's not even secret. They make it. They make them openly. And we all know what would be the consequence of it. It's like, I always use this example. I know the U.S. Grows a lot of corn, but in El Salvador we do grow some corn and we also grow beans. So I always make the example that you can either plant corn or you can plant beans. It's fine, but you cannot plant corn and expect beans to show up, or you cannot plant beans and expect corn to show up. So if you plant a defunding of the police, allow for shoplifting, give drugs to drug addicts, give money for people to stop at work, what would be the consequence of it? You will destroy the society, you will destroy the city, you will destroy the economy. And it's not only a logical thing to think, it's already happening. And when they see more problems, they say, oh, so we need more of the same solutions that cause these problems in the first place. And they enact more of them. So they have more problems. And they enact more of the same solutions that cause those problems. They have more problems. So you would think these people, they can't be so dumb. Of course they're not. They're smart. They're very smart people. So why are they doing these things? Because it's by design. It has to be by design.
Shalom. And all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash, and double honor to our apostles, elders, and bishops here at Great Millstone for teaching this truth that's going all around the earth. And shalom to the hopeful elect out there. It's your brother Atazawan from the Great Millstone here in St. Louis. And I had that clip in the front, right, of this guy, which I don't really know who he is, but I think he said he was from El Salvador. He's one of the officials of El Salvador, that country in Central America, all right, or South America, whichever one it is. I can't really remember right now. But in any event, talking about the chaos that you actually see here in Babylon the Great, everything from what's going on with the ICE and the raids, to the economic implosion, to all of the various different things that go on in this country as far as, illicit drugs and use and violence and so on, right? That basically what he alludes to is that it is an inside job, all right, that there are those who are on the inside who are causing all of these problems. And pretty much there is some truth to that, but we know through the scriptures that Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, all right, aka USA, right, is set up by Yahweh Shem Yahushua to be destroyed. It was set up to be a kingdom for the Edomites, and its greatest kingdom, right, in the last of the last days, but also to be destroyed. Okay, and so the things that may look like are just inside jobs, going on here in the States, it is also by the prophecy, if you will, of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that's already written of in the scriptures. And I'm just going to pull a few scriptures, a few precepts. I'm not going to get real heavy into this, all right? But we'll pull up a couple of definitions, and then we'll be done. Now, obviously, those that run this place are the hidden, right, elites of Esau, okay, or the Edomites, the Idumeans, okay, in the background who are pulling all the strings. All right, and in the foreground, they have their minions, okay, that they use to bring about these different policies and so on, as that man was speaking on, okay? But knowing that all things are done by the power and through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and that we are at this point here in Babylon the Great, that this great whore must be burned with fire, it must be thrown down, all right? And why? Really for the whole world, the controversy of Zion, right, of the Israelites. But when you think about the history of this place, you can't help but to think, Salakia, of all the innocent bloodshed of the Israelites on this land, all right, that this land, this ground is holding a lot of innocent blood, all right, that was shed by these very same people who are destroying this place from the inside, right? Though it be through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He's making them do it, okay? So, matter of fact, let's get the first scripture. This would be Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will, right? So the Lord is the one that makes them to bring about certain policies that they believe they want, right? But it's really the Lord that's doing it, okay? So their minds are in the hands of the Lord. Verse 2, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua pondereth the hearts. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice, and high look, right, and a proud heart, or a proud mind, a proud way of living, thinking, and the plowing of the wicked is sin, right? So when you put sin out in the earth, when you put wickedness out in the earth, that's what comes back to you, all right? So it's no wonder that this place that they deemed to be so great for so long is really just a cesspool, all right? A cesspool of sin, okay? Now, he used the word or the words inside job, and I just happened to just pull it up here in the AI overview, and it says an inside job, quote unquote, refers to a crime, often stealing or other criminal activity committed by someone who is already employed by or closely associated with the victim. All right, it suggests that the criminal had access to the victim's property, premises, or affairs due to their position within the organization. And so ultimately, what that's really saying when you say it's an inside job, it's really about those who are on the inside tight enough, right, to know the workings of a system. And how would they know that? Because they built the system. So they know how it works. They know what they need to do. And the victims are the people, all right, particularly here in Babylon the Great. Now, I wanted to jump down to something else, Salakia. Let's go here to implies collusion. And it says, inside job can also suggest that the perpetrator had the cooperation or assistance of others within the organization, often to conceal the crime to make it easier to execute. And you see that when you have all of these different riot police, if you will, militarized police force, all right, all these different things, these agencies are working hand in hand, all right, with the top people, okay? So it's real easy to say that the things that we see today, especially what's going on out there in LA, and soon it's going to spread all across the country, all right? That's just the jumping on point, okay? But this is an ideology that these people have in order to continue on into the NWO, okay, which is what they want. And not to mention also, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua wants that third world war to kick off, okay, because that is part of the prophecy, okay, of the destruction of Babylon the Great. This is Psalms 137:7. It says, remember, O Lord, Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. So this place was set up to be destroyed, all right? And we know that it is Esau Edom that runs this place. No matter whether it's here within stateside or they're doing it from afar, it doesn't matter. They're still the ones at the helm, all right? Because this is their kingdom, okay? Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us, right? So the Lord is definitely going to recompense Esau Edom for all of their wickedness, okay, against the Israelites. Verse 9, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. All right. So the Lord is going to make sure that he brings that destruction for the wickedness, all right, of this place. Let's see. Salakia. Let me jump in here. It's Isaiah 47. And let's just matter of fact, let's just start at the top. It says here, lament for Babylon. So at verse 1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O daughter virgin of Salakia. I read that wrong. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. And these people are known as the Chaldeans today, okay? For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind the meal, uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. You know, Babylon the Great is exposed, all right? Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man, right? Yahweh Shai will come back as an angelic force, all right? As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel, right? Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Right. So it was the Lord that had to punish the nation of Israel and put us in the hands of these wicked Edomites, right, for our punishment until our time would be served. Okay. And given them into thine hand, thou didst show them no mercy, and they have not shown us any mercy. Okay. From not telling us who we are, to the fact that they kept us blinded in poverty, keep us sick, right, with the so-called food and everything else. You name it, they've done it. Okay? Upon the ancient hast thou heavily laid thy yoke. All right? So they even persecuted, if you will, even the elderly of our people and have no mercy for us, young or old. Verse 7, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore, how now this, Salakia, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, right? And Babylon is one of these places where these Edomites really thrived, right? They really still, even with the way that the economy really is, these people are still so proud, right? It doesn't matter where you go, you see them, these fuckers are just yucking it up, they laughing, they're trying to enjoy Babylon to the best of their ability, okay? Going on vacations, riding around in golf courts, going out on their power walks, all these different things, trying to enjoy this place, even though it's in shambles, it's a wreck. All right, and they're still putting on that front like this is the greatest place in the world. Okay? Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. You see? Let's read verse 11 also. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. The desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Right, so they're going to watch this place go down in flames in an instant. All right, when they're least expecting it, okay, they still holding out hope for this place. All right, and you Israelites, you better repent before it's too late. Detach your mind from this place. Detach yourself spiritually from this place, all right? And he was going into, that man was, about the different things that are happening here, and we know it as what? Order out of chaos, right? And they even have it on their own dollar bill, all right? So let's read this also from AI Overview. It says, order out of chaos refers to bringing structure, organization, or predictability from a state of disorder or randomness. While it can be a literal, let me highlight it here, Salakia. While it can be a literal description of organizing a messy space, is often used figuratively to describe the process of solving complex problems, finding patterns, or achieving order in a turbulent situation. And now you see that America is in a turbulent situation. Okay, so when we go down here to what it says, what does it say here? It says symbolic meaning. It says the phrase order ab chaos, Latin for order out of chaos, which we refer to often, all right, because it is on their money, is used in some traditions like the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry to represent the process of spiritual growth and the quest for order in the human spirit, which is false. All right, Their thing was to control everybody through their money system. Okay? And we get one more. I think I got one more scripture here. Let's see. Yeah, this is Jeremiah 51:30 says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might has failed. They became as women. They have burned their dwelling places. Her bars are broken. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end, and that the passages are stopped in the reeds. They have burned with fire, and the men of war are frightened. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. You see, and matter of fact, let's see if we can look up threshing floor. That's a floor where you basically, you kill on. Okay? If I could get it right. Salakia. I don't know if it's one. Yeah, it's one word or two. Let's see what it says. There's no AI overview for it. What is the meaning of threshing floor? Kind of wanted a regular dictionary. Let's do this. Define. And see if it just has a hard level surface on which grain is threshed with a flail. And that's that. I mean, in a literal sense, yeah. But it's a floor where you can separate things or kill things, like a killing floor is what they would say, like in the stockyards. All right. Let's see what this says. Salakia. I didn't intend to do this, but let's just see what it says. There are dozens of references to a threshing floor in the Bible, some literal and some symbolic. Yeah, we know that much. But anyway, that's where you take your harvest and you do your cutting, your separating, and so on. All right? For what you're going to have, what you're going to need, what you're going to destroy, what you're going to keep, so on and so forth. All right? So you get the point anyway. That's what Babylon the Great is. Right now, the daughter of Babylon is going to become that threshing floor, all right, where you're going to see nothing but mass casualties, mass death, and so on, all right? And is it an inside job? Yeah, it is to a certain degree, but know that the inside is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, who's inside of their minds, all right, to make them do his will, all right? So with that quick, short lesson, we'll end it right there, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Shalom.